JOSM-Ortho4XP, and then we should be still broadcasting, and then implementing that by flying into a specific area. Here's what we have. This is Morris Creek Corner, and let's take a look around. There is supposed to be a patch that looks like this. Right down here. We are at this corner, and let me zoom out so that you can see that we start at that point. And we'll include the beginning of the runway. So this is the bridge, the road, which is 2409, but it's actually labeled as Morris Creek, up at the juncture right here. And right in here is supposed to be Esco's Market. None of the stuff from the farm came through except for the runway. So what we got here is the plane right at the corner, and that's pretty close. Let me turn it a little bit so it matches the aspect of there we go, the area that we're talking about. And I can bring that down and back up, and we can zoom in a little bit with that. So this is what we got. Okay, there's 223, and that's 2409. That farmhouse is right there, but it's not showing up because I set WED that way for diagnostic reasons. This is Sinking Creek Road, which goes down there. We don't really need to see anything other than the fact that I'm broadcasting right now. I'll talk to you a little bit later, okay? And so here's what we've got. Down in the field at Morris Creek Corner, there is Morris Creek Corner. We have placed, using GeForce, and we'll zoom in a little bit more, 4 rectangles. The first one, as you can see, is at 305 meters. The second one is a slope starting at 305 and going to 307. In actual fact, the way you draw it is from high to low. And that's the way it's drawn from there to there. So 307 to 305, that being 305. Over on this side, we have a simple rectangle at 309, purposely set at 305, 309, because this one's set at 307. In other words, I wanted to see a step here. Normally I would, if I wanted this to be a slope, flat slope, then I would, if this was a slope with a low, a high of 307, then this would be 307, but it's not. I stepped up purposely 2 meters to 309. This is a slope from 309 to 320, a radical move from here, 305, to here, 320. That's 15 meters, or pretty close to, 45 feet. Now, that being said, that was then saved to, and we will do a file. I normally do this right here, save, but we'll show you that I'm doing a save as to 3684, but where is that really? And the answer to that question is it's on D, under XBase, under X-Plane 11, under add-ons, under Ortho4XP, under patches, under 36 minus 84, and it is called let's read it from left to right. Carnes Farm 69 302 Runway Museum Slope, Carnes Mountain Slope. Infield at Moores Creek, turn south. Patch.osm. You saw where it was stored. And we'll go ahead and save it. And we'll say overwrite yes. It's interesting that when we do a save from here with a Control S, it doesn't ask me, do you want to overwrite it? It just does. Now, that's the layout, so we should see a rectangle at 305, pretty close to the corner here. Another rectangle but with a slope starting at 305 going to 307. Yes, we drew it from high to low. Another with a step up from 307 to 309 for this entire rectangle, and then finally 309 all the way up to 320. That is a slope. It was drawn from 320 or high to low to there and continued. You can see, I'm going to window this so you can see that what the, I don't know why it's doing that. Let's bring it in from here. You can see that that place is 36.8633 373 and 86.7461242. I have set it as a place in my GTN 750 called MRSCNR, or Moores Creek Corner. And you see what the latitude and longitude is. Unfortunately, it's not in decimal, or you could see an absolute agreement with, or we should. Let's not even suppose. We should see an absolute agreement with the numbers down here. Unfortunately, degrees, minutes, seconds. Look at that. But it's not showing that. Okay. What do I have to do to get it to show that? Reverse the direction of all selected ways. I thought that was going to reboot, but there we go. Okay, when I drew this, you can see that it's 365180. Okay, and this one is 365148. This one is 3651.482. A little disparity between 365180 but really, how much of a disparity is that? And what we see, 365148 and 834475 and 8 in the GTN, and 834446. What 0.1 west there? Well, let's see. What would it take for them to agree? Let's try the north part. North 365180. North 365180. That's the position of the cursor. Geographic latitude of the mouse cursor. Well, we've got a little bit of disparity here, don't we? What is it here? 5.2. That's a huge disparity. 365154. 5.6. Where would 365180 51 5056. Oh, it's 56 minutes. Okay, so I don't think that's it. Degrees and minutes. So let's see right here. 3651.79. There we go. That's 0.80. Right there. And that's in absolute agreement. And west 8344765. 8344775. All right, well, there is absolute correspondence between the GTN using nautical miles. Degrees, minutes, nautical. And that's what we need to use, because that's what we're using for the GTN. Okay, so do we need to see anything more from this? I don't think so. Here is the overall area. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can go like this. And like that. And one more time. Whoops. And bring it down to here. Alright, there's the farmhouse. I have projected the farmhouse, or taken the farmhouse out for diagnostic purposes. But it actually lies right about in here. And so this area right here, let's bring it down a tad so we can include the entire area. Now I know we're talking about this corner right down there. Let's see if we can get it all in there. Alright, I have drawn stuff from here, and I'll use the lasso to include all that. All the way up to here. Just so you know, this area was here is 302, the entire area, the entire lower field and the strip itself. And this is a slope going from 358 high to 314 low. This, if we look in closely, is the 302 area. But we look real closely, you'll see that this is actually a slope that goes from 305 to 309. And again, it was drawn, the high area, that way, high to low. I'm aware of the rules. And not to say that I can't mistake, but I'm just saying I'm aware of the rules. Okay, so there's that, and there's this, where there's supposed to be that slope. So, is it there? Let's see. Let's zoom in closer. Do you see anything that even resembles any kind of slope? There's a slight natural slope right there, but there's certainly not a 45-foot slope in here. Again, let's zoom out just a little bit so at least you can see the corner, and we'll bring back in the picture right there. And we don't need to see the numbers. The numbers have been documented. So there's that area right there. And that's Moore's Creek going up that way. So what we'll do is come in here. And let me get that picture. We want Moore's Creek turned almost 180 degrees, actually 90. So we'll do that. How does that match? Pretty closely. We'll bring this over here. Pretty damn closely, would you agree? Do you see a slope here of 45? And let's just move around. Yes, there's a natural slope here, but that, if this was 12 feet, it's probably no more than 12 feet. Slowly around it, we're as slow as I can go. That can't possibly be it right there. That's not 45 feet. There is a slope, I'll grant you that, but not 45 feet it ain't. Do you agree with me? Okay. That down that road there is Stinking Creek Road, where there have been a lot of drug busts, but it really is a dirt road. And OSM needs to reflect that. Okay, what else do I need to document? Well, when I build this, here's my ortho tile config, and it is saying that my default zoom level is going to be 17, and yes, I'm going to have 19 as the cover for our airport high res set to true. And what else do we need to document? You've seen OSM. Now let's go ahead and let's see how quickly we can do the tiling of it. You saw that it was saved and where it was saved. That's been recorded. So let's go ahead and close up this notepad. Let's go to Ortho4XP itself. And let's go to Earth Tile Map, and let's click on this guy, which will bring up 3684, and we'll exit, bringing up 3684 here. We've already chosen custom zoom levels, and I'll be there. We've lost it again. Let's see if we show it in this preview. No, we don't. How about in 13's preview? No, it's gone. Everything that I delineated as a zoom level is gone. And that's a major flaw. If you want to go back and work with what you did without making a major I'm not going to do this again. It's very frustrating. So I'm going to do I'm not even going to do a save and exit because there's nothing to save and exit from. So I'll just close that out and go abandon at this point. And I'm just going to go to build vector data because that's the first area where we adding the patch data for the mesh. You saw me add it .patch.osm. We did that. We're going to build the base mesh. Actually, let's go ahead and use a custom dim. And so we're going to go to D and explain add-ons and Ortho4XP elevation data. I believe it's going to be in J17 Northwest, and I put some info up on this controversy. Theoretically, this is U.S. Geological Survey data, and therefore should be showing its reference at the top left or northwest corner, and that's a little bit of a controversy at the moment. But let's go. We've already done step 2. And that was completed in 43 seconds. We'll do building the masks for the tile. I don't know what it's going to do with the zoom levels because I've lost them. And I did it like an hour or two ago. Why would it be lost? What am I doing wrong? Or what is Ortho4XP doing wrong? Why can't I bring up my custom zoom levels that I had previously chosen for this tile, 36-84? Why can't I bring that up from a previous? That's seems to be a flaw. I would love to be corrected so that I don't have to keep on rebuilding something I've already built. I just need to make modifications. So we're building the masks. The last step Yes, we're going to build the overlay from no, we're going to be building it from the test bed version of X-Plane, and we're going to go to custom scenery for that, which actually resides, that's actually a link, which actually we're going to go to that folder, and okay, we're ready to build tiles. All that should already be there, but it doesn't know what to look for, so I don't know what it's going to do. Theoretically, any 18 tiles here because I didn't need anything out this time. We're looking at DD build 17. Yes, that's our base zoom level. So the only thing we should have for this, because the global config says this, are we going to go ahead and use with high res? Yeah, true, and we're going to do it at zoom level 19. That's another question. Those appear to be squares, well, apparently rectangles are the object of the day, so I don't have a problem with that. Excuse me. Yeah, what we have is Ortho4XP creating 17, and I will show you the previous run right here. I believe I put it under tiles 360, and the latest report. Where did I put the reports? I could have created a report directory. Did I create a report? Yeah, build reports right there. So we created one. We're just now doing one, and this is just so we can document it. Come on, stay there. There we go. 8:55 p.m. Thursday, 3/9/2017. UTC -5. So this was created at 4:29. This one is created at 8:55, almost 9 o'clock. This is the one that I did, and you can see this contains errors, and it also contains, let's see if we can find a bi19.dds, and let's copy that and go to in here. Finish building the tile, so let's build. And I just wanted to show you, find b11.dds. We're going to put an asterisk in front of that. Matter of fact, I have some bookmarks there. There you go. And when were they created? Well, let's move this over. Date created right there, 3/3. In other words, using a mask, underscore underscore asterisk underscore asterisk underscore 17. And we're going to change that to 19 and 18 actually. 19 and 17 is going to be drawn. 17 is the base, 19 has been set aside the airports. You saw that in my config file. But I also drew in this previous tile building 18 around Barberville, around the farm, and around Pineville, and around Middlesboro. So we should today is the 9th, yes? God bless America. Why don't you stay where I told you to go? See, today is the 9th. We're going to go like that. And there's our 18s, and that was created in the last time we did it. Now we're going to make another report. We should be through. And we are. So I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to Control All and Control C. And we're going to come back over to here, and we're going to create a new file with everything in it, 1,025 lines, and we're just going to, it doesn't say what time, we're going to say finished at 8:59 p.m. And that's plus 36 minus 0.84, and finished at it was 8:59, so that's 20:59. 8 plus 12 is 20, right? 20:59, and we'll save that as that. And save it. By the way, if you haven't already done it, the WikiLeaks indicated that Notepad++ is one of those programs that the CIA decided was commonly used. I've updated to the latest version of Notepad++, which I'll show you in a second. That we're going to save that in build reports. And bam. Name. Oh, I can't put a colon in there. Sorry. 2059 is more than fine. And this is, along with VLC and a bunch of others, that info is online and readily available, but I'm using Notepad++. That was one of the targets, and I've updated to the latest version of Notepad++, which I'll show you in a second. That we're going to save that in build reports, and bam. Name. Oh, I can't put a colon in there. Sorry. 2059 is more than fine. And this is, come on, about Notepad, version 7.3.3, updated March 8th, 2017. Look for the list of CIA tools that have been modified with CIA backends, and make sure you update them. I understand iOS probably already had them fixed. They know about data errors videos, and they take them in stride and inside. Okay, so what do we got to do now? We've got to go ahead and put this puppy away and come down here, and what we're going to do, and by the way, the updated report we're going to do, I've already saved this position. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and we're going to need everything. They probably got to everything as well. Okay, just for safety's sake, what we're quit out of here, and as soon as we quit, we're going to call up this guy, okay, test bed, X-plane, custom scenery, and we're going to get rid of, just for grins, we're going to look at scenery packs. Look at that, 1867. Well, that's not supposed to be on top. None of that's supposed to be on top. This crap is supposed to be on the bottom, and it will be on the bottom as soon as we reload. I'm going to kill it. Yes, and now we're going to go back to 11, because I follow Mr. Rasmussen's suggestion, and that is that we prefix everything with an O for overlay, and I think he used I don't think he used L for library, but he did use A for airport and Z for mesh. And the rationale is that that X-plane sets things up in such a way that the naming is alphabetical for the contents of the scenery packs.ini. And if you let it rebuild with the proper prefix, that is to say A for an airport and O for an overlay file, or in our case we use Y, keeping in the convention that Ortho4XP does. And so there.